I messed up. I talk a lot about executive functioning skills. I've given so many examples. I have so many set up in my house, and yet I messed up. One of my son's chores was to take out the garbage. That means collect all the garbage from the house and then put it in the can and then bring the can to the curb. So really it's a couple of steps. And we made a plan when he was going to do it before dinner, but then I didn't give him anything else. I just kind of let it go. And instead of giving him a bridge, I gave him a log.
I am the log. I am the ravine.
Just like from Troop Beverly Hills. Every time I think about executive functioning skills, I think about Troop Beverly Hills and this scene, because this is exactly what happens when your executive skills start to disconnect. You could get your foot stuck in the log. You could be walking across it in heels. You could be carrying a backpack full of really heavy things across this log that isn't as stable as like a bridge. Why are we doing this to ourselves when we could make sure that we have bridges, not logs? And that to me is the key to getting your home to run smoothly, is ensuring that you have bridges and not logs. So a log is anything that sits between you and the task. The step that you have to think about, decision you have to make, emotion in your brain, something along those lines, that's the log. A bridge is far more sturdy. It's not as questionable. It is easier to get across, though it might be wobbly. You still have sides and it is connected all the way through. It's not about trying harder. It's about setting up those bridges so that you don't feel like you're sitting on top of a mountain surrounded by valleys. Instead, you have these supports that will help you continue to do these tasks. These tasks have many layers. I'm going to share 5. There are so many executive skills, but what I see break down or feel more unsteady for people are these 5. Task initiation, like actually starting the thing. Working memory, remembering what you have to do, the multi-steps. Yeah, that's kind of where I let my son down on that one. Time management and time awareness, how long something's going to take, what does 30 minutes actually mean? Planning and sequencing, so thinking about what needs to be done and then the steps you need to do that, like 1, get a garbage bag, 2, go from room to room, 3, tie the bag, 4, go to the garage, 5, put the bag in the bin. Next step, I'm lost on the step numbers now, take to the curb. And organization, difficulty keeping items in an arranged system. Think of your house. Are you surrounded by logs and unsteady surfaces, or do you have bridges to get these things done? That is the key difference between a house that runs smoothly and a house that feels like surrounded by logs. Okay, so in order to start giving yourself more bridges around your house with different executive functioning tasks, we are going to start building up some of these skills, some of these things that you can do to help continue building these bridges for yourself, for people in your house, for others around you. You don't have to fix them all at once. It's a process, right? Like we have to continue to build up these skills so that we can find success and they become steady. Favorite thing number 1 is a drop zone. And I prefer laundry baskets because they are cheap, they are easy, and you can get them in a variety of sizes. And that is what you use as your drop zone. That is, you place the laundry basket in the spot where everyone comes in and out of the house. For us, that's by our garage door. We have a basket for each individual shoes. All the shoes go in the basket. We have basket for sports equipment, and we have hooks, lots of hooks for all of the things. And that way everything stays in that one area instead of making a path throughout the house. This drop zone area, laundry baskets, works phenomenal because it's simple, it's easy, everything's out in the open. You can dump everything in and then you take it all out and you're good to go. This goes with organization. Favorite thing number 2 is weekly schedule creation. So I do weekly schedules with my family every Sunday at dinner. We're all sitting around the table, everyone's together, we're enjoying our meal, and we're going through our schedule. Now, we're not just going through who has what activity, we're also talking about who's responsible for driving, for picking up, for communicating with different people about different things, who's making dinner. It's like the nitty-gritty stuff. It's on the calendar every week. And I do color code it because for my brain, that works the best. This falls under time management. I do have a family meeting guidebook that walks you through exactly what we do, and it has helped thousands of wonderful people that have written to me saying how much they enjoy the structure of a guided family meeting so that the idea and the thoughts behind all the planning happens in one day with the entire family instead of falling like a burden on one person. Favorite thing number 3 is having 2 laundry baskets per person. One is clean, one is dirty. I swear by this. We have done this for years. We have 2 different looking laundry baskets as well. One laundry basket is for all the clean clothes. So when they come out of the dryer, they go in that clean laundry basket and they are in your bedroom. You also have your dirty clothes laundry basket because you might not be able to put away your laundry the same day you dry it. And so the clothes sitting in the clean clothes laundry basket are still clean, and then dirty clothes now have a spot to go instead of a spot on the floor or getting mixed up with the clean clothes. And we don't have to worry about the working memory component of that, like what's clean, what's dirty. Instead, we have a clear system that is this laundry basket is always clean clothes and this laundry basket is always dirty clothes. Favorite thing number 4 is multiple grocery lists on the refrigerator. So we have one for Costco, we have one for Byerly's, one for Cub, one for Fresh Time, one for Hy-Vee, one for Whole Foods, one for Trader Joe's. Yes, we have a lot of grocery stores because, can't get all your stuff at one place. So for every grocery store we go to, or Target, or wherever you might have a store that you frequent and you need a running list, put that individual list on your refrigerator and then write down what you need from that one store. It makes it so much easier when you go shopping so that you just get the stuff off that list from what you need when. This goes with planning. And favorite thing number 5 is playing music and switching activities when the music is done. So this one helps with both task initiation and task switching. Those 2 kind of go together, going from one task to another or starting a task. I used this back when I was teaching in my classroom. We would use one song to clean up everything and then switch to the next task. This also can help if you are really working on something artistic, gaming. This works really well for my kids. When the song is done, then you can end the game if the game doesn't have like a specific stop point. If you are spending 10 minutes doing a task, you can set a song to play for 10 minutes. And then when that stops, then your time is up. It's a nicer, softer transition than like a timer. Some people do really well with timers, some don't. So using music for that can really help transition to the next activity, start the next thing. When the song is done, then I start the next thing. And using that as a softer transition instead of a timer. None of these strategies I shared are about trying harder because that's not the issue. They're about removing the friction that was never going to go away just because you wanted it to. If this resonates with you, I am sharing 10 additional ADHD organizing strategies at the Get Organized HQ Virtual. You can get your free ticket down below. The summit is live September 14, 2026. You will not want to miss it. Don't forget to check out these next videos. You're going to love it.